My name is Gerald Miles. I'm an organic farmer from Pembrokeshire, South Wales in the UK. I farm an organic farm of over 50 hectares, 120 acres, which is a coastal farm, stretches from the road right down to the sea. And we grow crops such as oats and barley, and as well we keep a beef suckling herd of Welsh blacks, plus we keep pigs, Oxford Sandy and Black. All the meat we supply locally, directly to people, not through supermarkets. Also, we've started a CSA on the farm. It's a community supported agriculture where you will have the community and the farmer working together, which is a wonderful project and a wonderful idea, which is a worldwide idea. We've chosen this way to farm. We turned organic back in 1997. I was very concerned about the inputs, the chemicals we were using, and the nitrogens and fertilizer we were using, and we were becoming dependent on them. And I was questioning myself whether this was a healthy way to farm. And I looked into organic farming and I thought this was the way forward. This is what we should be doing. And I must say, since we have done that, the first 2 years was very difficult, but after that I think the farm looks better now than it ever did. The crops are grown on a rotation basis, an organic 7-year rotation, which is 2 years, 3 years of legumes, that is red clover or white clover mix, which really balances and enhances the nitrogen in the soil. After about 2 years of red clover as a crop, it deposits about 200 units of nitrogen in the soil. The corn is followed by a green crop of either stubble turnips or potatoes or hemp. Then we follow it with red clover, and that's mainly for grazing for the cattle. And then we're back to corn again. So we try to make a 7-year rotation so that the soil has balance to maintain itself and reinvigorate and regenerate the fertility back to the soil. As well, when we do put corn in, we apply manure onto the fields ready for the next crop of corn. So the manure that is produced on the farm by the cattle is put back into the soil. We try to farm it in a organic permaculture way that we regenerate the fertility back into the soil. I've been campaigning against GM crops for over 10 years, and I feel strongly that GM technology will really control our seeds and will not give us any choice of how we want to farm and what we want to farm.
So what do you say to farmers and the agribusiness industry who say UK farmers need GM soy to feed animals?
I think it's bullshit. I think introducing GM soya as a cheap protein in farming, we don't really need it. There are other crops that we can actually grow. We can grow peas, beans, we can grow wheat, and that can be fed to animals. Our beef is fed on silage and haylage, which is produced on the farm. Also, we feed our pigs the corn we produce on the farm, because if industrial farming takes on well, in the UK, if it takes on GM technology and grows GM crops, it'll contaminate our crops. This is not our choice. It'll take our choice away. GM technology, I think this is a very dangerous area to go into, because we are introducing something into nature that we can't control, and we haven't researched enough into it to know what is the health aspect of it, what is the consequences of it, because we are contaminating the eco pool of nature, and this will contaminate and cross-pollinate everywhere. For an example, in the USA, they have been using GM crops for over 10-15 years, and if you talk to the American farmers, you will find that if you look on Farmer to Farmer website, you will find interviews there that where farmers are having problems in obtaining crops and growing crops, because with this GM crops, like GM soya for instance, and GM oilseed rape, it's cross-contaminated to the wild and it's created superweeds. Now these GM companies tell you that this technology will lower your amount of chemicals you use. That's not true. They are misleading you, because in the United States at the moment, because of these superweeds, the Gramoxone like Roundup won't actually cope with it. They got to resort to 2,4-D, which is an old chemical out of Agent Orange, which is a very strong lethal chemical. So my main objective is that this is being force-fed onto us, giving us no choice, that we won't be able to farm organic or in a permaculture way, that everything will be GM, and it will be expensive. And once we take that path, we can't return from it. How have I and how have we responded to GM? Over 10 years ago, a GM crop was going to be grown in my area, and we formed a group which is now called GM Free Cymru, which means to keep Wales free of GM crops. We campaigned strongly for 6 weeks in our own area. I was talking to the farmer. After this period of 6 weeks, he withdrew from the trial. After that, we decided to look at Wales as a whole. Since then, GM Free Cymru with Friends of the Earth have campaigned to keep Wales free and of GM crops, and had support from the Welsh Assembly, the government in this country, which have put a legislations in place that farmers and companies will be accountable if crops are grown, that if they contaminate another farmer or don't let the other farmer knows or negotiate a license for it, they will be penalized for it. So really this legislation has made it stronger in this country to keep this country free of GM crops. My message to Paraguayan farmers is that it's important that we fight this. And I believe we can win this battle, but we can win this battle by us all supporting each other and working together. It's a threat to our livelihood, it's a threat to our food, it's a threat to our children's children. We in Wales fully support you in Paraguay. Dal dy dir, this is an old saying in Welsh, dal dy dir erbyn I pethach sy'n treial troich byd chi. In other words, stand your ground against things that are turning your world.